As amazing as Claude Code and OpenAI's Codex are, they don't let you see their DNA, they don't let you get into their source code and see if somebody's taking a little bit of data from your computer and sending it to places that you don't want people sending your data to. And you can't see them actually using stuff as well. And you most certainly cannot build on top of them and release them as your own software. So these are the benefits of open source software, and this is exactly why the dev community of the internet loves open source software, and as a part of it, I love them too. And in this video, I'm gonna be giving you guys 7 that I've found from research and personal experience so that you can use and adapt them to your diverse workflows. That's gonna be product management softwares as well, and that's gonna be notes softwares, that's gonna be a lot more. So stick around to find out. Let's start now. First up, we have the Brave browser. Brave, the company that makes an ad blocker browser that actually defies YouTube ads. They have their software open source. Well, the thing is, their entire repository is available on GitHub. So technically speaking, you could take Brave's source code and build something for yourself, like a better version of Brave. And the classic way to build a new browser is basically to take Chromium and build whatever you want on top of it. That's how today's modern browsers like Opera, Opera GX, and Arc browser and all of these things have come into being. Second up is a product management software. What is a product management software? What is a project management software? Well, to answer that, first of all, if you're using WhatsApp, do you really think a team of 5 can collaborate and put in their lock-ins and lockouts here and then manage their calendars in many meetings and really messy collaboration inside WhatsApp? Do you really think Microsoft Teams, out of all things, is going to be very useful here? No, because one, Teams is a little bit expensive, and two, I don't know what else to say, but there's an open source alternative here as well. And that open source alternative is called Open Project and Taiga. So there are 2 open source alternatives actually. Taiga lets you use Kanban, which is basically a free framework that lets you do the paid shit in the open source softwares, like the really good PMS one. Let me take ClickUp. ClickUp has tickets. So you basically create a page which has like drop boxes, and you drop one box into another box, and you basically switch from done to not done to this has a blocker. So these 3 things you can easily manage on this software, and it's open source. Tan-ta-da. So that was that. That is the power of Taiga. You can use a framework called Kanban that does that. And then the next one is Open Project. Open Project lets you use your own Raspberry Pi or whatever server that you have, maybe even Render, which is a cloud server, and host your own service and then just collaborate from there. It's a more freeing experience, but you can offer a free service here too. There is a way to do that, and I haven't seen people do it. So that's that. There's a space to make a really good open source PMS. I hope somebody who's watching this video does it. So that was the next 2 pieces of software. Now we're at 4. Let's get into the 5th piece of software. Hey, subscribe, like, comment. You've been watching this video for at least 3 minutes, and that's why this popped up on the screen. Cause these videos, they take me lots of research and time to make, and I would love it if you guys could give back to the channel as well as I give back to you guys. And I would work tirelessly to get you guys better research and better content, obviously. So click all the buttons. So we get back into the video now. The 5th piece of software is called Joplin. Joplin is basically a direct competitor to Obsidian, but it doesn't really work the way it is supposed to, because Obsidian is free. It allows a lot of community plugins, and you can do the same things as you can with an open source software while it not being open source. So what does Joplin do? Joplin is basically like a OneNote's replacement, which itself was kind of bad in my opinion. But it exists. It's an open source note-taking app, and I haven't really seen one that is better than Joplin at note-taking. So I can tell you this, it exists, but I'm not switching from Obsidian to use it here. So if you want to know it's taking option open source, look at Joplin. So that's that. That was the fifth software. Now I'm gonna be sharing with you guys three pieces of software that are absolutely revolutionary, in my opinion. These are like the pinnacle of the open source world right now, so listen to me. First is OpenCode. OpenCode is basically a vibe coding IDE with its own MCP server, which comes pre-installed. It worked with Godot. Godot is basically an open source game engine which you can use to make games, and it has a lot of community support nowadays, so you can hop in and do a lot of cool shit with Godot. And the thing is, when I used OpenCode with this open source game engine, whose file system was also opened up to the system, it could do wonderful things. It was able to make a UI with code, and I was able to prototype really fast, and it surprised me. And with its own MCP server, the GD script, which is the coding language Godot uses, it is not very familiar with it because it's very underrepresented in test data, but it somehow performed, and that was so surprising to see. And that was the first piece of software. The second piece of software is OpenClaw. As everybody knows it, OpenClaw lets you use agents, and if you have GitHub Copilot, that's an amazing thing that you can use with OpenClaw, because it's basically a free thing for students, because GitHub Education lets you have GitHub Copilot Pro for free, and if you use OpenClaw with GitHub Copilot Pro, you basically have access to 24/7 agentic workflows for free. I made a video about the whole process. It's in the cards right now probably, so check that out if you wanna. And then the next piece of software that I'm gonna tell you is VS Codium. Did you know that VS Code is an open source software? I did not know that before, so I checked in, and Microsoft said they put in their telemetry collecting things and all of these things after they take from the repository and they build their binaries. But there is a version of VS Code called VS Codium, which is an open source fork of the original directory that keeps updating, and they just have their own logo things, and there's no telemetry inside it. So, if you download a build from VS Codium, you get the free and open source version of VS Code. This is also revolutionary, right? So, that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the information you saw here. And last up, I wanna throw in two honorable mentions. One is OpenShot, and the other is Caden Live. So these two are open source video editing softwares. So people can take these as starter kits and build on top of them to make really cool things. Because I've seen Caden Live, it has a lot of potential. But thing is, I'm too lazy to shift from my workflow inside DaVinci Resolve. And if you're not glued to DaVinci Resolve like I am, please check it out. So that was it for this video. Wait, I think I have even two more pieces of open source software, which is LibreSprite. LibreSprite lets you make 2D sprites on your desktop with a sprite level editing, all for free. And lastly, I'm gonna tell you this one thing alone. There is an open source version of GitHub. It's called GitLab, and people can use it to collaborate on projects, and it's a really amazing thing. Check it out. It's called GitLab. So that was about it for this video. My name is Monish, channel's name's Monstar. Hit the subscribe button and the like button. I really have to say this because I've given you guys quite some value in this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I think I shared with you guys 10 or 11 things while having said that I would share only 7. So that's about it. That's about it for this video. I'll catch you in another one. Okay, bye. What if there was an open source database? I do had this question, so I looked it up. There was this thing called Supabase, and I personally use this a lot myself, so take a look at that. And for the other time, I myself made an open source app. Take a look at here. And for more open source app videos, look at this playlist. Yep, that's it. Okay, bye.